Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Touch your neighbor and tell them, this is not the year to explain yourself. Listen to me carefully, because if you miss this moment, you might miss your season. We are standing at the edge of 2026, and some of you are still carrying the noise of 2020, the opinions of 2022, and the distractions of 2024. You've been talking too much, listening to too many voices, and focusing on everybody else while your own life is waiting on you to show up. Hear me when I say this. Not everybody deserves access to you. Not every argument deserves a response. Not every opinion deserves an explanation. There are battles you lost, not because you were weak, but because you were loud in the wrong places. This is not the year to announce your moves. This is not the year to seek validation. This is the year to focus on yourself and let silence do the talking. Because while they're watching your mouth, God is watching your obedience. While they're laughing at your quiet season, heaven is preparing your next level. Some of you have been delayed because you kept explaining your vision to people who were assigned to doubt you. You kept sharing your plans with people who were never meant to understand them. But I came to declare tonight, your growth does not need an audience. Your healing does not need permission. Your elevation does not need approval. 2026 is calling for discipline, not drama. Direction, not distraction. Depth, not noise. You don't need to clap back. You need to level up. You don't need to prove them wrong. You need to prove yourself consistent. Because when you focus on yourself and stay silent, your results will speak in a language nobody can argue with. So straighten your back, clear your mind, guard your energy. This is your wake-up call. This is your moment. This is your year to move in silence and arrive with impact. If you're ready to change your life, shout, I'm ready. Most people don't fail because they lack talent, opportunity, or potential. They fail because they talk too much to the wrong people. They explain their dreams to doubters, their plans to critics, and their next move to people who secretly hope it won't work. Every time you explain yourself to someone who doesn't believe in you, you give them power over your confidence. You hand them a front row seat to your unfinished vision, and unfinished visions are easy to misunderstand, mock, or kill. There is a dangerous habit many people carry into every new year: the need for approval. Before they move, they announce it. Before they build, they seek permission. Before they commit, they want applause. But real growth does not need validation. The seed does not ask the soil if it's okay to grow. It goes underground in silence, where nobody can clap for it, criticize it, or compete with it. And when it finally comes up, it doesn't explain how it did it. It just stands there as proof that something was happening long before anyone noticed. When you explain your plans to people who don't support your growth, you invite unnecessary resistance, not because they are evil, but because they are limited by their own fears. They measure your future with the ruler of their past. They listen to your vision through the filter of their failures. And what they call being realistic is often just fear dressed up as wisdom. You walk away doubting yourself, not because your plan was wrong, but because you shared it too early. Silence protects momentum. When you keep your plans to yourself, you preserve your energy. Every explanation costs something. Every debate drains something. Every attempt to convince someone steals time you could have spent building. You don't owe anyone a presentation on your purpose. You don't owe anyone clarity about your calling. Some things are only revealed after they are completed. There is also a spiritual principle at work here. What you announce prematurely becomes vulnerable prematurely. When you tell everyone your next move, you expose it to jealousy, comparison, sabotage, and distraction. Not everyone who smiles at your dream is rooting for it. Some people clap while secretly counting how many steps you might fall. Silence is not secrecy out of fear. It is wisdom that understands timing. Supportive people don't need constant explanations. They don't interrogate your vision or demand proof before you begin. They trust your process even when they don't fully understand it. Unsupportive people, on the other hand, always need convincing, and even then they never really believe. If you have to argue for your dream, you are arguing with the wrong audience. When you stop explaining yourself, something powerful happens. Your confidence grows because it is no longer dependent on reactions. Your focus sharpens because you are not busy defending decisions. Your progress accelerates because all your energy is going into execution, not justification. You move differently when you are no longer seeking approval. Let your plans mature in private. Let your work speak in public. There will be a time to share, a time to testify, a time to celebrate. But not everything needs to be announced at the beginning. Some victories are only understood at the end. In 2026, decide that your growth is sacred. Guard it, protect it. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't support your growth. When they finally see the results, explanations won't be necessary. The evidence will be standing right in front of them. Many people think silence, weakness. They think if you don't respond, you lost. If you don't defend yourself, you agreed. If you don't speak up, you were afraid. But silence is not the absence of power. It is the control of it. Silence is choosing strategy over emotion, purpose over pride, and direction over distraction. In a world that feeds on reactions, silence becomes one of the strongest moves you can make. Every time someone provokes you, they are not just attacking your words, they are trying to control your focus. Arguments are distractions, dressed up as opportunities to be heard. When you react emotionally, you step off your path and onto theirs. You start fighting battles you were never assigned to fight. Silence says, I know where I'm going, and this does not deserve my time. There are moments when speaking is necessary, but there are many more moments when silence preserves your strength. Not every comment deserves a reply. Not every accusation deserves clarification. Not every misunderstanding deserves correction. Some people are not seeking truth. They are seeking attention. And the fastest way to starve attention is to stop feeding it with your energy. Silence also gives you space to think clearly. When emotions are high, wisdom is low. Reacting in the moment often creates consequences that last longer than the situation itself. Silence allows you to pause, assess, and respond with intention rather than impulse. It turns you from a reactor into a decision maker. There is a difference between being silent because you are afraid and being silent because you are disciplined. Fear-based silence avoids confrontation. Strategic silence avoids foolishness. One hides, the other protects. One shrinks, the other strengthens. When you are secure in who you are and where you are going, you don't feel the need to announce your every thought or defend your every step. Silence is also a form of emotional maturity. It shows that you don't need external validation to feel whole. You are not controlled by opinions, praise, or criticism. You understand that people will misunderstand you no matter how well you explain yourself. So instead of exhausting yourself trying to manage perceptions, you commit to managing progress. Some of your biggest breakthroughs will come in quiet seasons, while others are posting, arguing, and performing. You are building, learning. Silence creates room for growth. It gives you the ability to listen to your intuition, to wisdom, to direction. Noise drowns clarity, but silence sharpens it. When you stay silent, you also gain leverage. People reveal more when you don't rush to speak. They expose intentions, insecurities, and motives when you are not busy interrupting. Silence becomes a mirror reflecting who people really are. That information is powerful, and it only comes to those who are patient enough to listen. In 2026, silence must become intentional, not passive, not fearful, but strategic. Use your words with purpose, not to satisfy ego. Speak when it adds value. Stay silent when it preserves peace. Let others mistake your quietness for weakness if they want to. They will eventually realize that while they were talking, you were advancing. Silence is not retreat. Silence is positioning. And when you move from that position, you move with precision, clarity, and undeniable power. Focused discipline is what separates people who dream from people who achieve. Everyone has ideas. Everyone has intentions. Everyone talks about what they want to do, one day. But the difference is discipline, the ability to show up consistently, especially when motivation disappears. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is a decision, and decisions, when repeated daily, create unstoppable results. Discipline begins with focus. When your attention is scattered, your energy is wasted. You can be busy all day and still make no real progress. Focus forces you to choose what matters most and say no to everything else. That no will disappoint people, delay pleasures, and challenge habits, but it will also protect your future. You cannot build something meaningful while constantly switching directions to please every demand and distraction. Focused discipline requires structure. It means creating routines that support your goals, not your comfort. It means waking up when it's inconvenient, working when it's uncomfortable, and continuing when it's boring. The greatest enemy of progress is not failure, it is inconsistency. Small actions done daily will always defeat big actions done occasionally. Many people wait to feel ready before they commit. Discipline does not wait for readiness, it creates readiness. You don't become disciplined because life becomes easier. Life becomes easier because you become disciplined. When you train yourself to do what must be done, regardless of how you feel, you remove emotions from the equation. That is when results become inevitable. Focus also means eliminating unnecessary noise. Discipline cannot survive in constant chaos. You must be intentional about what you consume. Conversations, content, environments, and habits. What you allow into your mind will either strengthen your focus or weaken it. Discipline is not just about what you do, it is also about what you refuse to engage with. Unstoppable results don't happen overnight. They are the product of patience combined with persistence. Discipline teaches you to trust the process even when you don't see immediate rewards. Most people quit too early because they expect quick results from long-term work. Discipline understands that growth is often invisible before it is undeniable. When discipline becomes part of your identity, your life changes. You no longer negotiate with yourself about showing up. You no longer rely on external pressure to perform. You move with intention because excellence has become normal to you. At that point, results are no longer accidental, they are expected. Focused discipline also builds self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence increases. You begin to trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you move with authority. You stop looking for permission. You stop second guessing. You know that if you commit, you will follow through. In 2026, discipline must be non-negotiable. Not extreme, not perfect, but consistent. You don't need to do everything. You need to do the right things repeatedly. Focus on what moves the needle. Discipline your time. Discipline your habits. Discipline your attention. When focus and discipline work together, progress becomes unstoppable. Distractions lose their power. Excuses lose their voice. And results begin to speak so loudly that they introduce you before you ever say a word. Your energy is one of the most valuable resources you have, yet most people give it away carelessly. They spend it on arguments that lead nowhere, relationships that drain them, and distractions that produce nothing. Then they wonder why they feel tired, unmotivated, and stuck. It is not because they are weak. It is because they are depleted. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is necessary for growth. Distractions are everywhere, and most of them are subtle. They don't announce themselves as enemies. They show up as constant notifications, unnecessary conversations, comparisons, and obligations that have nothing to do with your purpose. Each one pulls a small piece of your attention, and over time, those small pieces add up to a life that feels scattered. You cannot give your best to what matters if your energy is constantly being divided. Unnecessary battles are another major drain. Not every disagreement is worth engaging. Not every criticism requires a response. Some people thrive on conflict because it gives them significance. When you enter those battles, you are fighting for something that does not benefit you. You leave emotionally exhausted and mentally distracted while nothing meaningful has changed. Wisdom knows when to walk away, not because you are afraid, but because your peace is more important than proving a point. Protecting your energy means setting boundaries even when it feels uncomfortable. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are filters to keep what matters in. Saying no does not make you rude. It makes you focused. Every yes you give costs you something. If it doesn't move you closer to your goals or align with your values, it may be too expensive. Your environment also affects your energy. The people you spend time with, the spaces you occupy, and the content you consume all leave an imprint. Constant negativity, gossip, and comparison will quietly drain you. You may not notice it immediately, but over time, your enthusiasm fades and your vision becomes cloudy. Protecting your energy sometimes means changing your environment, even if that change is lonely at first. Distractions often disguise themselves as productivity. Being busy feels good, but business is not progress. You can fill your schedule and still move nowhere. Protecting your energy requires clarity, knowing what deserves your attention and what does not. When everything feels urgent, nothing is important. Energy must be invested intentionally, not spent impulsively. There will be moments when people misunderstand your boundaries. They may call you distant, selfish, or change. Growth often looks like distance to those who benefited from your lack of boundaries. You cannot allow guilt to pull you back into patterns that drain you. Protecting your energy is an act of respect for the future you are trying to build. Rest is also part of energy protection. Constant output without renewal leads to burnout. Rest is not laziness, it is maintenance. A focused, rested mind accomplishes more in less time than an exhausted one struggling to keep up. When you protect your energy, you increase both your effectiveness and your longevity. In 2026, your peace must become a priority. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not everyone deserves your access. When you protect your energy from distractions and unnecessary battles, you create space for clarity, creativity, and growth. And in that space, your life begins to move forward with purpose instead of pressure. Results are the true measure of progress. Words can inspire, plans can excite, and intentions can motivate, but none of that matters if it doesn't produce tangible outcomes. Too many people spend their lives explaining, arguing, and justifying instead of executing. They are busy being seen and heard, but not busy enough being effective. Let your results speak louder than your words, because results are undeniable. They cannot be disputed, ignored, or misinterpreted. They are proof that action was taken and that effort produced impact. When you rely on words alone, you leave your success open to opinion. Anyone can critique what you say, question what you plan, or doubt what you intend. But results are different. Results are evidence. They are the final authority. No one can take credit for the work you have done if the results are clear and measurable. That is why it is far more powerful to focus on producing than explaining. While others are talking, you are building. While they are debating, you are executing. And when you finally present your work, it speaks volumes without a single argument. Letting results speak also requires patience and consistency. Results do not always appear immediately. Often, the greatest achievements are the result of countless small, unseen steps. Every time you show up, put in effort, and make the right choices, you are planting seeds. Those seeds may take time to grow, but when they do, they grow in a way that cannot be ignored. People may have laughed at your quiet efforts, but the results will silence every doubt. The more consistent your actions, the louder your eventual impact. Another reason results speak louder than words is that they create credibility. People will trust what you have accomplished more than what you promise. Promises can be broken, ideas can be misunderstood, and intentions can be misrepresented, but results are tangible proof that you know how to deliver. When your actions produce outcomes, people stop questioning your ability. They begin to respect your discipline, your focus, and your strategy. Respect earned through results is far more enduring than respect demanded through explanation. Focusing on results also changes your mindset. It shifts your energy from defending yourself to building yourself. Instead of wasting time convincing others of your worth, you invest time improving your skills, completing tasks, and creating value. This shift reduces stress, increases confidence, and amplifies performance. It transforms you from someone who reacts to opinion into someone who shapes reality. The person who delivers results becomes the person whose voice is naturally listened to without needing to shout, explain, or justify. Results also carry influence. People are inspired not by what you say you will do, but by what you actually accomplish. Achievements set examples. Outcomes demonstrate possibility. When you let your results speak, you motivate others through action rather than argument. Your life becomes a testimony showing that dedication, discipline, and focus create real, measurable change. Influence gained this way is authentic, unshakable, and replicable. In 2026, make a commitment to stop over-explaining, over-justifying, and over-performing for appearances. Instead, focus on creating, executing, and delivering. Let your results be the announcement of your growth, your vision, and your success. When people finally see what you have accomplished, there will be no need for words. Your life will declare your story, your discipline will validate your efforts, and your achievements will command attention in a way that no argument ever could. Actions will outshine words every time, and your results will speak louder than anything you could ever say. As we stand on the edge of 2026, it is time to make a choice to stop explaining, stop reacting, and stop giving your energy to things that do not serve your purpose. It is time to focus on yourself, to discipline your mind, body, and spirit, and to guard your energy fiercely. The world is full of noise, distractions, and opinions, but your life will rise only when you move in silence, work in consistency, and let your results speak for themselves. This is the year to prioritize your growth above approval, your vision above validation, and your peace above conflict. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. Discipline is not restriction, it is power. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is essential. And results, when pursued with focus and perseverance, are louder than any explanation could ever be. Imagine what your life would look like if you stopped arguing with doubters, stopped seeking permission from those who don't understand your journey, and stopped reacting to every distraction. Imagine the growth, the clarity, and the impact you would achieve. That is the promise of focusing on yourself and staying silent in 2026. So wake up, guard your energy, stay disciplined, and move with intention. Do the work, build the dream, and let your results shout your victory. Stop explaining yourself. Stop justifying your journey. Stop letting the opinions of others steer your life. Focus on yourself. Stay silent and let 2026 be the year your life speaks louder than any words ever could. This is your wake-up call. Your season is here. Your time is now. Move in silence, rise in power, and let the world see the unstoppable force that is you.